Third trading day of the week. So this is what I was looking at. Sell entry, let's see. Let's just push this to make sense. Great. Zoom in a little. Okay, so we're looking at Asia again. So that's Asia for us. And then we saw price really do its thing here. Liquidity up there, and then trend towards the downside. Slight rejection, then it just blasts through to the downside. So this is a FVG I'm seeing on the 15 minute. So that could be a sell entry in itself. However, I'm looking at the 5 minute to see what it does. So price goes down. It's already taken liquidity. So sell entry on chalk after liquidity sweep above the previous high. Right? So this, which is that one. Okay. So price did that, took out, swept the lows, kept on sweeping the lows, and then brought us back just above the lows. Okay. With that said, we're seeing big rejection. We're also seeing big rejection. And looking at midnight open, it's been swept quite a bit. So then we want to see a market structure shift to the downside for this to be now possibly a continuation of the sell trend. So what happened yesterday was just a pullback. If you look at it from the higher time frame, so that green candle gave us the buys. But then price, the big higher time frame bias still for GU at this point in time is a sell. In that the dollar is gonna start off strong, which it has, and the news has been coming out really strong also for the dollar, really positive. So that's that. With the 15 minutes fair value gap, we got in on a quick sell because, like I said earlier, there's a 15-minute fair value gap somewhere around here. Yeah. So which is why we entered that sell, because price impulsively moved away from that. It's a big red candle, big red 15-minute candle, and then give us this fair value gap. So we decided to enter on a sell. We got in on the sells, however, we were taken out. Our Nini was stop loss was at 5 pips, quite tight. I think on the 15 minutes you're not supposed to, but according to my strategy, I'll probably do like between a 7 to 10 pip stop loss. Possibly on the 15 minute, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so on the 5 minute here, we get in, sniper entry. We get taken out because London is going to give us London high, which is that point right there. So we can see that the high is formed. And with that said, we know that after the high or the low is formed, then we want price to reverse to the opposite direction, which we see happen almost immediately. So price gives us an impulse to the downside. We get a rejection, but then we move again down. This rejection here shows that because it's fractal, so it fails to break the previous fractal high. So then there's more confirmation that we might be going in on sells. Getting on an aggressive sell, not waiting for the fair value gap. However, we see one here as a confirmation. Price moves down with a big impulse, leaves us with a very fast fair value gap. I think that's the first one. There's another one here, which again, it gets filled in immediately. So maybe you'd have missed that one. If you missed that one, there's this one. So price comes there, hits that fair value gap, and then drops. We get a big melt to the downside. This trade was maybe a break even because price got almost to, just past break even. My break even is a 1:3. Not break even, but my fast TP is 1:3. So TP1 was hit. TP2 was possibly not hit. Was hit maybe later in the day, which is 6. So then price, we've seen New York do that. There's a melt, then there's a consolidation around lunch hour, I think. And then we get into New York. There, if we were to buy again, we'd possibly buy from there. Okay. That's a buy on the 15 minutes. So price does that, comes down, melts, hits our second TP. So TP1 and TP2 hit. Then the third TP is 10, and 10 was actually hit. on this particular day. It was a good day. So 10 gives us a plus 6R almost. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I think what now is interesting is that if your entry is in London right here, in this session, within the session here, we get a good entry there, and then news comes out 4:30 p.m. Kenya time on 9:30. So 8:30, 9:30 gives you big push. It'll either be a big push to the upside or to the downside. The interesting analysis about this is that by the time from this London open to New York open, so that's about 4:30 to 9:30 is about 5 hours. So you have 1 4-hour candle closed already. Then you have 2 2 hours and 4 1-hour candles. So there's pretty much a lot of momentum. So if you do a base base rally or the inverse in 4 hours, I mean you have pretty significant movement. And like in this case, if the news comes out positive for the dollar, let's assume when you are selling dollar, then your TP is definitely hit by that evening. It was interesting to watch this one. I think this was NFP or unemployment. And yeah, it just moved towards the TP and it was done. And then, of course, the reversal during New York happened. Yep.